tonight's Find the Fortune. In 2 minutes, we're going to phone someone and make them £20,000 richer. Will it be you? Missing jewels belonging to Wallace Simpson. Can you help us find them? And a list of people who are owed thousands of pounds. Are you on it? This is Find the Fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the woman with all the answers, Carol Vorderman.
Friday, it's 8 o'clock, we are live on ITV, we are Find a Fortune. Keep watching till 9 because as we keep on proving, we just might have found your fortune tonight. Tris Payne's here with a record number of cheques for some lucky people in our studio audience. Take this person for starters. He or she can't see this shot, but in just a couple of minutes' time, they'll be a whole lot richer. As always, Jane Harvey has a long list of names of people she's looking for. If Jane says your name, then leap up in the air because that means one thing, you are rich too. Richard Orford and Lorne Spicer are at the Prospect of Whitby pub in Wapping in London. Hello, you two. I think they're having a nice time. And if you'd like them to value something you have at home, then get your slippers off, get your shoes on, and get down there right now. And this week, I have not one, not two, not even three, but I have 4 phone calls to make. The first one in just a minute. If your number is on this card, you will be more than £20,000 richer. So keep your line free. But first, Tris.
Here's the first of 7 golden envelopes I've got for people in the studio audience tonight. It's big, and the person whose name is on it has no idea they'll be going home so rich. OK, so I'm looking for someone aged between 40 and 60. He's male, which I'm afraid counts you out, madam. Sorry about that, maybe next time. And tonight, he is sitting next to someone he hasn't seen for over 20 years. Would that be you, Michael Killeen? I think it would, wouldn't it? That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? And you've not seen each other for 20 years?
That's right.
Incredible.
Since Illa's wedding.
Now, listen, what happened 2 weeks ago, Michael?
I was contacted by the studio after Illa had phoned in because you'd given my name out on the air. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen the programme. And you couldn't find me until Illa had phoned in saying where I could be found. You're
here tonight, which is great news because I have a cheque for you in my golden envelope from Standard Life, OK? I'd like to give you this cheque right now. I just need to ask you a couple of questions.
All right.
OK, so deep breath. Are you ready? I need to know your past occupation, Michael.
Store manager.
OK, your date of birth.
30th of the 11th, 1950.
Fantastic. Michael, here is a cheque for you from Standard Life for £17,424.81.
Bit of a shocker, isn't it? It pays to listen to Find a Fortune. And now it's time for my first phone call. Will it be to you? Have you got an 8 in your phone number? Is that number 8 followed by a number 3? Has your phone just started ringing? If so...
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Trevor James, please?
Speaking.
Hello, Trevor. It's Carol Vorderman speaking. You're on Find a Fortune.
Hello.
Oh, hello. I know a little bit about you.
Do you?
Yes, I do indeed, yeah. I happen to know that a while ago you used to work for Harris Queensway. What did you do then?
I was a manager of a furniture shop.
Oh, were you indeed? Now, that company ceased trading, didn't it, a while ago?
It did, yes.
And while you were with them, you got a pension and you lost track of it.
That's right.
But we found it and it's now being looked after by Legal and General and it's got a transfer value, Trevor James. Do you want to know what that is?
I would like to, please,
I bet you would. Well, it's not 5 and it's not 10, all right?
Right.
It's actually £21,566. Is that nice?
Wonderful.
Is that wonderful? Have a good weekend, Trevor James.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye. That's 1 down, 3 phone calls to go, and the next one is even bigger. Have I got your number? Will you be thousands of pounds richer by 9 o'clock? We have so many people to give good news to tonight, so let's crack on. Who have you got money for, Jane?
Well, firstly, I have a cheque here for David John Shields. David was last known to be living in Bury in Lancashire, where he worked as a salesman for a furniture company. David, if you're watching, get up off your sofa and give us a call. Your cheque is here waiting. We're also searching for Patricia Mary Welch. Now, we know that Patricia used to live in Southampton, and she'll be in her late 60s by now. So, Patricia, if you're watching, please call. And if you've got one of these little things, then your small property investment just went through the roof. You can call us on 0870 90 90 200. You can fax us on 0870 90 90 212. You can email us at findafortune@itv.co.uk, and all these numbers are on teletext page 128.
Now, our next story is connected to one of the most famous love affairs of the last century, that of Edward and Mrs. Simpson. It was a romance that captured the world's imagination, and it led to the abdication of the King of England. However, part of their story is still shrouded in mystery. Jane went to investigate.
It was 1987 and the royal sale of the century, the auction of the Duchess of Windsor's jewels, and they raised a staggering £28 million. What you might not realise, though, is that the collection was incomplete, and perhaps tonight you can help us solve the 55-year-old mystery of the missing Windsor jewels. When Edward, the dashing prince, met Wallis Simpson, the American divorcee, theirs was to become one of the greatest royal love affairs in history. Bob Houston has written about the prince's obsessional love.
And the thing that upset and caused the panic within the magic circle of the royal household was that he made no attempt to disguise it. And virtually from day one, he began to shower her with tokens of his love.
And these weren't your average gifts. The prince took the finest rubies, diamonds and emeralds from the royal vaults and had them made into the most dazzling jewellery. When it came to glitter, Edward made sure Wallis Simpson was the jewel in the crown. David Callahan has spent years studying the Wallis Simpson collection.
Like the late Princess Diana, Wallis Simpson was a style icon of her day. Not for her the standard ordinary jewellery which anyone could buy. Wonderful pieces of jewellery, specially designed, commissioned, unique pieces which symbolised the love that was going to withstand everything.
As king, Edward could not marry a divorcee, but his love for Wallis was so strong that he renounced the throne and the couple married and settled abroad. In 1946, the Duke and Duchess paid a rare visit to Britain. As usual, Wallis was travelling with a huge amount of jewellery. On this occasion, they stayed at Ednam Lodge in Berkshire. It was to prove a fateful visit. On the evening of the 16th of October 1946, the Duke had left for Buckingham Palace, where he was dining with his brother, now the King. Wallis, however, was preparing for an evening out with friends.
Well, when she went out to dinner that evening, the jewellery that she wasn't wearing was put, perhaps astonishingly, was put in her fitted jewel case, not in a safe, and the jewel case stayed in her bedroom because that was her custom.
Wallis left for dinner, leaving the house empty, except for her beloved pug dog. We can only guess what happened next, but what is certain is that when the Duchess returned, her jewels had vanished. All that was left was the empty box and a few diamonds scattered over the grounds. Now, the Duke and Duchess chose not to publish a list of what went missing, but we still have a few things to go on. We know what the Duchess owned prior to the disappearance, and we know what was put up for auction in 1987. So we think there are quite a few pieces of the Duchess's jewellery still out there. So, what could they be?
There were many items that went missing that evening, and two of them are of some considerable significance. There was a double row pearl necklace worn as a choker, pearls even size, but more importantly a highly stylized brooch, a diamond and pearl brooch in the form of an orchid.
And where might these jewels be?
Well, they're still missing. They're still out there somewhere, and if they were to come on the market today, fully authenticated, those two items alone would fetch in excess of £500,000.
These are symbols of a love affair that changed the course of British history, your history and my history.
Right, so this is what they look like. These are copies, obviously, so they may differ slightly from the originals. Do these jewels look familiar to you? If you think you might have them, or you know anything at all which might help us to find them, please do get in touch. Our telephone number is always on the screen, or you can write to us at Wallis Simpson Jewels, Find a Fortune, PO Box 30,000, London, SE1 9GR. And please remember to mark your envelope Wallace Simpson Jewels. Now, in just over 3 minutes, I'll be making my second phone call of the night. You have been warned, so keep your phone line free. But before that, it's time to find out what treasures Richard and Lorne have unearthed in Wapping. Hello, Richard.
Hello, good evening, Carol. Yes, welcome to the shores of the River Thames here in London. And once again, we've got some fabulous discoveries for you on this, our last show. Right now, I'm joined by Clint and Glyn Osborne, who brought along a pair of boots that once graced the feet of a very legendary gentleman of soccer, didn't they, Clint? Who do they belong to?
They actually belong to Gary Lineker.
Right, what's your proof? Where's your evidence here?
I've got a letter from Gary Lineker stating that they were the last pair of boots.
It's just there,
yeah, he actually played in Japan for Grand Passaic.
Right, and it's signed by him as well on the back there?
Signed by Gary Lineker, yeah.
That's fantastic. Where'd you get them from then, Glyn?
Well, I bought them at a Leicester football auction. And about 6 years ago now for £124.
All right, about 6 years ago. So they're not exactly in tip-top condition, are they?
No, I think, well, near his end of his career, he had a bad toe.
Right.
And as you can see.
Yeah, it's split at the end there, I see.
Yeah.
So, Lorne, do you think there's a market for this? Do people want, you know, used football boots?
Well, you might not initially think so, but then if I told you that David Beckham's play-worn boots from the year that Man U got the treble sold for £14,000, I think we can safely assume that the football market's going up and people will buy this sort of thing. Particularly because, obviously, things like soccer jerseys are getting harder and harder to find, and when they do come up, they go for ridiculous amounts of money. So now we're starting to see the rest of the market moving in that direction too. So
OK,
great.
Let's talk some cash here. What are we looking at auction for this?
Today at auction, these boots would raise at least £1,000.
Wow, yeah, that's great.
That's great. You made a good few hundred quid there on your auction. Yeah. Well done, lads. Thank you very much for bringing that one along. OK, and we move from that to another sporting bit of memorabilia here, although the name associated with this one is perhaps not quite as familiar. It's been brought in here by Des and Dean Phillips. Now, Des, tell us exactly what you've got there.
I brought in a headguard which actually belonged to Randolph Turpin.
Now, Randolph Turpin was a famous boxer in the 50s, and he famously beat Sugar Ray Robinson, didn't he? And he caused a sensation in the boxing world in 1951. So how did you get hold of his headguard then?
I had it as a gift from Eddie Thomas, who had it as a gift from
Randolph.
Turpin,
I see.
when he was sparring with him.
Got you. And I understand that you're actually a professional boxer at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's correct. I've been fighting professionally for the last 6 years.
All right, easy. I'm not going to start anything with you. Lorne, what do you reckon to this then? What do you make of it?
Well, the boxing market actually is more established than the football market, and so therefore we've seen prices rise and it's stabled out comparatively. It's more like golf and tennis in that respect. But what's very unusual about this piece is this is the sort of equipment that doesn't come up very often. We do see boxing gloves come up, not particularly ones from famous fights, but a lot of replica ones are sold at charity auctions that are signed by boxers. And of course, the association is particularly interesting because this guy was, you know, the first black boxer to come to the fore in Britain. And also, I mean, by actually winning that world championship effectively and beating Sugar Ray, he actually became the first British boxer to do that since the previous century. So that all together, and the fact that, as I say, these don't come up, I think that would be of great interest to a boxing collector.
OK, just exactly how interesting would it be to a boxing collector?
Well, I would imagine if this went to auction, you could expect at least £2,000.
Wow, thanks for bringing that one in, lad. Now, why is this 2,000 and something from Gary Lineker, who's much more well-known, going for 1,000?
Well, basically because, again, this guy has proved a historic point in sporting history. Gary Lineker, who knows? I mean, maybe he'll be beaten by Beckham in the end.
Yeah, hold on to it then, lads. That's the idea there. Well, that's it from us. We're going to be back later with more forays into fortune hunting, but now it's back to you, Carol.
All right, thanks very much indeed. We will see you later. But now it's time for my second phone call. Just a few minutes ago, I gave Trevor James some very good news. Will this be your number I'm dialing now? It could be if you have a 4 in your number and a 5 in your number. Is that your phone ringing? If it is, please answer it.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Can I speak to Ian Weir, please?
You can. Just a minute.
Oh, right. Thanks. Doopy-doopy-doo.
Hello?
Hello, is that Ian Weir?
Yes.
Hello, it's Carol Vorderman speaking. You're on Find a Fortune.
Oh, golly gosh.
Is that a bit of a shocker?
Well, it is a bit, yes.
Yeah, I thought it might be. Actually, I've got a huge surprise for you, Ian Weir. But before I tell you what my surprise is, I just want you to tell us where you used to work in the 1980s. Can you remember?
In Stirling and the Midland Scottish Bannockburn Depot.
Yeah, in Midland Scottish buses, basically.
Yes.
And you were a bus driver, is that right?
Correct.
And what are you doing nowadays?
I'm semi-retired now, but still driving a bus.
Still driving a bus. Who for this time?
Sorry?
Who for this time?
Oh, the local school run.
Oh, are you? So you keep yourself busy then?
Well, it keeps me out of mischief.
We like a bit of mischief, though, Ian Weir. We like that. Now, you took out a pension when you were with this company. And this company, because the bus industry, obviously coach industry, has changed radically since those days. The company's changed hands many times, but we've been asked to contact you because Royal and Son Alliance has found your pension. Now, how old are you?
59.
59, you remembered that bit. So it's not too long before you officially can claim your pension, is it? Is it? Not too long. You're in a state of shock, aren't you, Ian? Are you in a state of shock?
Slightly.
Slightly. OK, well, I'm going to shock you even more now because this pension has a transfer value. Pick a number, Ian Weir.
Oh.
Come on, pick a number, quick.
Haven't a clue.
Go on, pick one.
10.
No. And it's not 20 either. It's £34,134.
I've just seen it. I don't believe it.
It's absolutely true. Over £34,000. Are you a happy man?
I'm absolutely gobsmacked.
Are you going to have a good weekend?
Certainly are.
All right, then you keep on driving your buses, Ian.
Well, thank you very, very much.
It's our pleasure.
My goodness, thank you again.
All right, have a drink on us. Bye for now, Ian.
Do. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I think he is happy. We've still got over 60 people to make richer tonight, still to come.
Another list, another fortune to give back to you.
I have 6 more cheques here to give back to 6 members of our studio audience.
And 2 more phone calls from me. We are Find a Fortune. We are live and we'll see you after the break.